Frontline, the way I like to call it, is our level one support is our AI. We get a decent resolution rate. Typically, what we've seen is anywhere from 35 to 45% resolution rates if people come in and actually want to talk to the AI. And after that, if they want to end up getting to a human, they can. If they want to talk to a human to begin with, they can ask. And seeing a little bit of AI fatigue.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Experience Matters podcast. Today we have Christian with us. Christian Sokolowski is the Vice President of Customer Support at Rebuy Engine, a company that helps e-commerce brands personalize the shopping experience using AI. Christian brings over 14 years of experience in IT operations and customer support. And before Rebuy, he was working across multiple industries, from managing tech support in the hospitality space to leading support operations in logistics and e-commerce. So quite clearly, Christian, you have a very diverse experience wearing multiple different hats through the years, and really looking forward to the conversation and your insights.
Likewise. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great, Christian. Uh, I'd love to start these conversations by getting a feel of what you do in your current role in the current time. So it'd be great to understand exactly what you do at Rebuy. And I see that you have been there for more than 3 years, right? So just an understanding of exactly how your role has evolved over the last 3 years will be very interesting to me.
Sure. Yeah. So, like you said, currently hold the role of VP of customer support. Originally came in around 3 years ago, very small team, startup company, uh, probably employee number 25. So, we had some people here I've worked with in the past, and they knew that I had a knack for building operational teams and structure. So initially, my goal was to come in and build everything from scratch. There was a very small team here that was doing some sort of support, but there was no real framework around how it was working and what they should be doing next to continue to grow. The company itself has been just fast past or growing so fast that we've needed to evolve and build out from the ground up and do we but we have had to do it responsibly. It's a start. It was a startup at the time we came in, so obviously funding was a big thing. So building all of that out from scratch, and now my role has really transitioned to being more of a larger presence within the entire company. From initially being focused directly on support to now being focused on the liaison between product and go-to-market teams. That's kind of what support, in my opinion, from my previous experience is set for, right? Because both sides of the house kind of impact us, so that we're the ones that are bridging the gap there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And how has the team evolved over the last 3 years, right? I mean, how big or how was the team oriented? And as the team has grown, have there been any new skills that you might have hired for or mentored your team towards any new kind of orientations or skills?
Yeah, we've grown from a very small team. I think nimble, probably like 3 or 4 people, including myself. Now we're up to about 20 people at this point. So tremendous growth from my team perspective. From the company perspective, we're well over 100 people now. So we've seen great results from everything that's come in. I think from like an overall perspective, this team has been unique because we are the customer support, and by nature people think customer support is a front line. Not everyone's technical, and that's a little bit different than what we are. Everyone that comes in here has gone through at least a boot camp to be a junior full stack developer. So when people are talking to us, they're actually talking to kind of a level two support engineer to begin with. And so things that we've taught people is a lot of it is emotional intelligence. They have the technical background to get started, but really understanding how to handle customers and evolve within their role to continue to grow in the company into those like senior developer roles that most of them want to go into. And most recently, obviously, AI is the big topic. So training people on what to use in AI, how to use AI, and continue to increase our efficiency has been a big focus for us.
Very interesting, right? So you mentioned that pretty much the entire support team that you have are essentially engineers, right? They have some engineering background, and then you work with them to help them, get started on support too. And then you have a trajectory for them to get deeper into engineering if they show the interest and the inclination, right? It's very interesting, right? So essentially, you're hiring engineers for a support team. So how do you do that? Because how do you look for the right skill set and the right attitude in being able to help people with people who have not been actually trained in that, right?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, you know, a lot of what I've been able to find that's been useful is finding boot camps out there that really do care about their kids or adults, whatever you want, whoever's there, and work on evolving them. So I found a few, V School being one of them, who I've partnered with. So we understand and we kind of help them mold the curriculum to what we want. So whenever I need some talent, I'll reach out and say, hey, give me the cream of the crop. A lot of our talent has actually come from there. And so we know what they're coming in with. So they have the base knowledge for us to continue to grow them, as well as a lot of reference. It's about who you know. If I have someone in here that's doing good work and they tell me someone else is a potential fit for us, I'm gonna prioritize them over it just because of who they are. Maybe their resume doesn't look like, hey, I went to Harvard and did all these things. But in my opinion, I think real world experience is a little more important than just what's on paper.
And you mentioned a boot camp, right? I mean, I think let's just spend a minute on that to understand exactly what it is useful for the audience. It's called V School, right?
Yes, yeah. One of them is V School. It's out of Utah and it's fully remote now. And there's lots of different programs that they go through, but the one that everyone that has gone through that's come to us has been some sort of SaaS, not well, SaaS development type software development, and they teach them a lot there from like a technical perspective, and it leads all the way from front end to back end. In our side, it's more front end heavy, but the things that they don't learn in those schools is how to interact and how to manage people. And that's one of the big things that I'm very good at is helping from emotional intelligence perspective to give people that extra idea of, hey, how should I handle this conversation? What should I do here? And how do you become a trusted advisor? I think support, most people think, is, hey, just go fix things or like push things around. You know what I mean? And it's very different. It really isn't. In my opinion, the biggest thing to be in support is to become a trusted advisor and partner with our customers, because retention's king, right? The more you retain, the better off you are. So trying to push people to talk to us is a big thing that we do. um, I actually found that in some analysis that was done by a third party company, which was actually surprising results to me, is the more someone actually talks to the support team, the more likely they're going to stay with you, because that means they're committed to talking to you. And if they have a good experience with that team, then they're going to want to stick around and spend some more money with you. So we really try and interact and make those experiences very, very one on one.
Makes sense. And I think this is also aligns with what we have seen at our company too. Uh, it's generally a good engagement with support is generally an excellent indicator of health.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. I understand that you scaled from a small number of people to 20. You have this very interesting landscape where you get in engineers to do your customer service. I'm sure your customer base has also expanded over the last 3.5 or so years. How has your tooling changed over the last 3.5 years, right? Are you bringing in new tools? Are you phasing some out? And what are some interesting areas for you to look at new tools?
Yeah, so we've uh, holistically been using an omni-channel solution for intercom. That's one of our ticketing systems, chat system, whatever have you. And that's evolved quite a bit from, just the basic coming in, chatting with people. Now we bring in conversations from chat, email, any social networks. And that's one of the big things that's evolving, especially with ecom. Everyone's in social media now, and it's very important. So being able to interact with them in multi-channel is it's a high priority. AI, again, like I said before, it's the hot topic. So we've brought in a lot of AI tools like the Cursor app, which is it helps for coding, and we do a lot of coding on a day-to-day basis. The team has the ability to go in and customize and specialize different things for our customers. Because, like you said, we're an AI platform for e-commerce stores. Now we're not building stores, but our app is something that goes on top of their store. So making it look like and feel like we fit on that store is how we retain customers as well, let alone just the additional upsells that it does. So that type of app helps us with our efficiency in building those out. We use different AI models internally to help both internal questions. All the other teams go to market wherever have questions about how the tool works, and support's where they go. So we built an AI bot for internal conversations. We built an AI bot to do quality assurance for our tickets that our teams are working. We use AI for sentiment analysis, being able to actually look at the conversations from a non-biased perspective to tell us what we're doing well and what we're doing wrong. As you probably know, CSAT is a great thing, but it's very bias based. I think you get under 10% response rates on CSAT, and it's a very emotional thing at the great time or really bad time. So anything in between, we've had a loss. So sentiment analysis is very, very important. I really think it's doing a good job for us to continue to grow and become efficient.
Very interesting. How important are autonomous bots or your AI talking to customers in this whole landscape? Do you have your AI talk directly to customers when they come in and then later delegate to a human, or have your customers
Yeah,
go
yeah.
straight to a human?
Actually, our front line, the way I like to call it, is our level one support is our AI, and we get a decent resolution rate. Typically, what we've seen is anywhere from 35 to 45% resolution rates if people come in and actually want to talk to the AI. And after that, if they want to end up getting to a human, they can. If they want to talk to a human to begin with, they can ask. And seen a little bit of AI fatigue in the previous couple of months where people are leaning towards just asking to talk to a human. So one of the big things I think is going to be for a lot of people using AI as the front line that are going to have to figure out is how to keep them engaged with it to continue to use it to be efficient and reduce average handle times, ticket volume, so you can look at saving resources. It's we all have budgets. You got to make sure that we're using those budgets efficiently. So that is one of the big things that we're really working on is optimizing that. On a daily basis, we got to look at content. We got to look at how well it's doing, good questions, bad questions, building guidance out to it so it knows how to interact. Like we can change ours and say, hey, this is how I want you to talk to people, or if this happens, do that. And bringing in different content from external sources as well as internal sources, and keeping all of those up to date. It's a huge thing. It's never been out there in the industry, and now it's just exploding. So the AI is not technically taking jobs away; it's building new ones. And so that's what another thing that we're really working on is leveling up our teams to understand how to use it effectively.
Makes sense. And in terms of getting more or better insights using AI, right? Of course, you mentioned sentiment, and I totally hear that, right? CSAT just gives you the extremes. You just catch the top 5% and the lowest 5%. You miss everything in between.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah, and AI-based customer sentiment analysis is so much better. But any other way you are using AI to get insights from what is going on?
Yeah, we use AI to look for content suggestions. So anything out there that's a repetitive question that we may not be answering fluently from the get go. So we'll get those content suggestions, go build documentation to build it out. We also look at it from a well, I guess sentiment analysis, but from a product level. So right now we're tagging different tickets that come in with AI to find topics and different product areas. And then we can look at what are those product areas, which ones are leading to the largest dissatisfaction and the highest satisfaction. We take that data driven approach and we bring that to the product team to help drive the prioritization of what they should be working on within the product, whether it be a new feature, fixing or adjusting an old feature. And I think those are the large ones that we're using. Like, again, it's QA, all the basic things as well.
Hmm. It's a great way to get for me to get into the second part of the conversation, which is what you mentioned in the beginning, is your role as kind of the bridge between GTM and product slash engineering, right? So I'd love to understand how you transitioned or migrated or eased into this role from managing support day to day to doing this, right? And what do you do as a part of this?
Yeah, it's kind of just been a natural progression. As the leader within the support team, it's really kind of fallen on not my shoulders to make sure that the lights stay on per se, right? So whenever something goes bump in the night or there's an issue, that's going to come to us. It's going to impact our team greatly. So making sure that we're involved and making the right decisions whether it be something that the go-to-market teams are hounding the product team for, and us saying, yeah, that's probably something great to do, or hey, these are some other priorities that are really important that's going to help us continue to retain customers. So I think that's been a big thing, and just having that relationship. So having a relationship on both sides of the house and looking at it from a higher lens, because there's always that natural tension between go to markets and product, because go to market needs different things so they can sell, but product has a lot of things on the roadmap, and derailing those does cause some chaos. So being there kind of have to be like the bridge, like I said, is good because you can kind of be the voice of reason every time and again.
Makes sense. And just to understand the mechanics of how you do this, right? Do you do this through weekly cadences? Do you build reports based on what you're seeing on the ground? Give that to GTM? I mean, how do you actually run this on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis?
Yeah, so I'm part of the go-to-market side of the house. I guess you could say that's where my role lives. So we do meet as leaders on a weekly basis to talk about different things, all the way from pipeline to retention to expansion. So thinking about what's happening in those worlds and looking at it from a data-driven lens, so we can look at what's happening in the support realm to give them insights on what they can be doing to help improve their metrics, and taking that back to our product team, which we meet with regularly, and going through, hey, these are the top priorities, or these are the things that we're hearing, to kind of give them that insight, as well as leading a larger effort of all of the leaders between products, go to market, and talking on a monthly basis to hear each other out, what's going on, what are our pain points, and what can we improve on, are the largest things of it. And like I said, it's come in a natural progression. It's just been in my previous roles everywhere I've been, I've had a really good relationship with the product team. And I think that's one of the most efficient and best things that can happen between support and product to help the company. Because if the support and product team are fighting, then nothing's going to get done.
Absolutely. One thing that I would love to understand is, you have spent some time in this space, which is essentially a software product for e-commerce companies, right? And you have been in some other spaces too, for example, logistics. Uh, any insights into how customer support works in these different sectors, right? The differences, the commonalities, the relative importance of tools and channels, etc.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there is some differences, but a lot of the things are similar. So previously, I started in network engineering for Cisco Systems contact center world, so IP telephony, all of that. So you're working with the big boys, the Verizons, the Change Healthcares of the world for anywhere from insurance to your cell phone. So working with those large enterprises, and then working with different BPOs and all of that to systems is very similar. And hey, uptime is key. You want to make sure that you're hitting your normal KPIs, response time, CSAT, and all that. But e-commerce, I found, has been a different animal, and I think it's a more fun. And the reason I say that is because you're working with people, a lot of young entrepreneurs, all ages. In those contact center worlds, you have seasoned execs that are running those companies, and they didn't put the money forward on those companies to be what they are at this point. Yeah, someone started it, but a lot of these e-com brands, they are bootstrapped using their own cash to try and make themselves successful. So urgency is one of the largest things that I see that come in, and it's very different because hey, it could be a large shop versus a small shop, and it could be a very small issue, but for that small shop, that is a huge priority because it's going to impact them, and it's going to impact them greatly because they're so small. If you see where I'm going with this, so we like to allow our customers to prioritize what their issues are and treat them all the same. And so helping them is a huge thing. Also in the industry change is you're working with people that are not technical all the way to developer technical in the ecom world. So you could be talking to Sally who's selling yarn out of her garage and doesn't know how to use a computer very well, versus some guy that's been really seasoned, actually knows how to develop, and he's building these tools out for these large e-commerce brands. So having that knowledge and being able to be, again, the trusted advisor and educator for all of the people of any level is one of the big things that I've seen differently. It's along the line of seasonality. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, huge time of year for us. So then everything gets even more critical for everyone.
Hmm. No, I totally hear you, right? I mean, you really need to be extremely credible, extremely useful, and really appear to be or be on the side of the customer at all times, right? Uh, you know, in the shape and form that you see AI right now and its capabilities and the way it's being used, right? Do you see that helping you get there, or do you see that more getting in the way of you getting
I think it's helping, and the reason being, it for the people that want to use it, and from the end user perspective, it gives them instant answers. These days everyone needs something now, right? And so being able to allow those people to get the answers that they need quickly and efficiently has been really important to help our CSAT. Actually, if you think about it, we find a very the relation between response times and CSAT is directly related. The sooner you respond to someone, the better your CSAT is going to be, with AI or without AI. If they're past AI, they want to talk to you. So getting a response to them and saying, hey, this is who I am. I'm a human. I'm here to help you. May not have the answer right away, but I'm here with you. And so allowing the AI to handle all of those repetitive queries gives us more time to focus on the people that really want to talk to us. And giving them that personalized experience has led to tremendous CSAT. I mean, this year alone, we're sitting at a 96% overall. Last year was a 95. We've grown year over year as we've seen. We implemented AI very early on in 2023. May of 2023 was the first time I flipped it on, and ever since then we've seen tremendous growth and improvements on all of our KPIs. To be honest with you.
Makes sense. Very useful. The last question, almost a technical question that I would love to understand from you is how do you, manage, build, and enhance your help center and help documentation in such a fluid environment, right? You have new features coming in, you have new kind of queries coming in, you have AI helping you with a few things, right? How do you make sure that you stay at the top of your documentation game?
Yeah, documentation is a very tough thing to stay on top of. You come up with all these documents and they just sit there and you don't go back through. I know there's some companies out there that do have some capabilities to go in and say, hey, this document needs to be updated, verified, whatever that may be. But obviously, that still has to come with you're doing it. So making sure that you're looking at reporting based off of what content's being used and what content's being successfully used. So, hey, this document's been looked at X amount of times, but it hasn't resolved the issue Y amount of times, and they're talking to a human. So why? What's happening there? And again, like I said, we have content suggestions that come in based from our AI that'll tell us this is what's going on, this is what we're seeing. You should work and focus on building these out. Um, and building documentation takes a lot of time and effort, so using different tools to actually optimize and write the content is big. So not only writing it for a human to understand, but now you have to write it on a level that AI will understand, so it'll give the right answers and not just talk nonsense. We've seen things go rogue and they start talking complete nonsense that has nothing to do with what the question was. So making sure that you're writing in a manner to do that is very important. And having someone focus on that as a primary goal, I think is going to be huge coming in the future. And that's going to be something different that for companies that are utilizing it, they're going to be successful.
Hmm, makes sense. And do you have your team, the support team, contribute heavily to the documentation, or is it completely managed by product or marketing? How does that work?
No, actually, we own our knowledge base
Oh,
100%.
wow.
I even actually write half of our documentation just
Hmm,
because I feel it's important to stay in tune with how our product works. So when the time comes, if there's a question, you already know the answer. So we are completely in charge. The way it works internally is if a new product is coming out or a change in the product, our product team will open, we use Jira. They'll open a Jira request for us and connect it directly with the Epic that they're using to build out the product. So we can follow along with that, stay connected on timelines, and they'll give us content about, hey, this is what it is, this is specs, give us some videos, and then we'll go out and we know it at a different level. And the way this works, in my opinion, from a support team owning knowledge base, is they actually use the product a lot more than the developers, right? So you know exactly how to explain it to a human to understand it and build videos or walkthroughs that's actually going to resonate with someone rather than here is product X, it does Y, and it's very dry. So being engaging is a big thing for it.
Makes sense. That was very useful, Christian. That is the end of all the questions I had. That was a great conversation. Uh, I think there's a lot of stuff that is useful for me personally and for our audience too. So thank you for your time.
Absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you.